There we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Welcome, Susan. For those of you on Susan's channel that didn't know that she was going live, we're doing the simultaneous cast of the show from Heart and Soul Connected, and I'm so happy to have both channels streaming our talk today and our questions.
And this is something new that we didn't know. I didn't know could even happen. And I think it's pretty new that you found out about it too, right?
I just found out about it a couple days ago, and what a great experience it's been. So I'm telling everybody, and that way we don't have to go, I'll go on your show, you come on my show. You don't really have to do that anymore. It's going to make it so much and easier for the chat, I think. Yeah. The only downside I saw was that sometimes if you're on like if you have 4 or 5 of the people that are your subscribers, my subscribers, and if you had more people, some of the chats might not seem as busy as others. And I'm not quite sure about how that works yet.
Oh, but, that's interesting. So you're saying that so you're saying the people that are on viewing this that are on your channel specifically won't be viewed on my chat?
Well, I'm not sure. And some people have moved over to your chat to check the good box, do the check mark, then they come back. I'm not really sure how that works. I don't recognize some of these folks. So maybe they're your people, like Contemplative Candy. Unless you're a new subscriber, I don't recognize you. So I don't know. You're seeing a chat though, right?
Yeah, I'm seeing the chat. Yeah. And I'm seeing that there's a little paper clip on your people, I think.
Yes. That's right,
sorry.
Susan.
We'll stop talking. We'll stop talking shop. It's just so interesting.
It is.
And so I love it when technology works. I love it.
It's so nice, isn't it? Yeah. And the other thing, Susan, you'll notice that you can post comments now. You don't have to be if you want to. See?
I can. That's right.
You usually can't do that before. So everybody just sorry you have to put up with listening to our yap about this, but it is fairly new. StreamYard letting us stream to 2 different channels at the same time. And so I'm loving it. I think it's great because it really, Oh yeah, you're in the YouTube chat, so you can't see the other people's chat, but Susan can see that. All right. I get it, Sherry. Thank you. It just depends whose channel you were on. With regard to the YouTube chat, because StreamYard is a little bit different.
That's what I thought. So your people are seeing your chat, my people are seeing
That's right.
my chat. Okay, that makes sense. Hello, everybody. And I love that I can put a comment, because usually when you're on someone else's channel, you don't have that ability unless you open up YouTube on a different tab and then you go in on a different tab.
Right.
Okay, well, let's do this, huh?
Let's do this, yes. So I wanted to open up with Alvin Bragg, the DA from New York, and the recent, I didn't know that somebody sent him white powder and threatened his life. Susan just told me that. I did know that there was a picture of somebody with a baseball bat. Is that right?
Trump
had the baseball bat? Okay.
And Trump has the baseball. Covering his lips, and then next to him, it's like 2 different pictures, like what you guys are seeing right here on StreamYard. And next to him is Alvin Bragg. In the picture next to him, with it's clearly implied. He's looking at Alvin Bragg. He's got the baseball. It's clearly implied that I would hit you with a baseball bat. And this is not going to end well for Trump. This isn't going to end well for any of those people that are purporting their support for him. Like Marjorie Taylor Greene was out saying, I was just doing what I was supposed to be doing. Now, you guys know that Marjorie Taylor Greene is going to visit the insurgents in jail.
Right.
She's visiting them in jail.
With a whole bunch of other people.
They broke laws against the United States of America, but yet she's going to go visit them in jail and also say that they're not getting treated very well. Well, it turns out that jail does have some issues, but where they're keeping the insurrectionists is actually in one of the better parts of the jail.
Okay.
It's just, anyway.
That doesn't seem fair either. That doesn't seem fair. Yeah. And then McCarthy met yesterday with Ashley Babbitt's mother, who they consider to be a murdered woman. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
ridiculous.
I think they just honestly, what the guides say is they just want to make it very clear, what side of history they're on and what side of justice they're on. They're making it as clear as there's like, I'm speaking very clearly. You know what I mean? They're making it very clear about their actions. And it's going to make it a lot easier for the justice system to put them where they need to be, which is not representing the United States of America in any shape or form.
Right.
It's true, Wildflower. You can't make this stuff up. It's completely mind-boggling.
Yeah, it really is. I think that the most upsetting thing, though, is that he already said something about, because he thought he was going to go in on Tuesday. And so he flagged that, and then he got lots and lots of money for that, right?
Yes, he did.
And his donations are all going wild. But now, yesterday or the day before, he says, well, why isn't Bragg doing anything? What's wrong with him? Oh, it's because he's stupid and he's this and he's that. And then, of course, he had Jim Jordan send him a letter saying that, he needed to look at the evidence and all that other stuff. And but now it seems to me that the FBI should pick him up for sort of not only inciting another insurrection or calling for violence, but also for a threat against an attorney or a government worker in New York City. And he said the same thing about, well, he didn't say he was going to kill her or anything, but Fannie Willis, all of them, every one of them are crazy. They're psychopathic, but not him. Oh, boy. Yeah, just crazy. Yep. With a baseball bat. There we go. So, folks, I didn't ask anybody to give us some any pre questions here because I knew we were going to kind of do this. So I do need to know. Wow, we got 300 people here. That's fabulous. We will only be able to pick some questions randomly, okay? Because there's lots of people here and lots of questions here, and so I just want you to be aware of that. Susan, if you see any that you think that you would want to answer that I may not, have either clicked on or whatever, you can always star it. I do believe you have that opportunity to do that because you're right there in the chat. So you're welcome to do it if you see somebody that that has a question. But I can do it.
I think I'm able to star them.
But you aren't?
Okay. No.
Okay.
But that's okay.
All right.
I think I want to just start off. Meadows has to testify, Wiki. Yes. Okay, guys, let's start off with for entertainment purposes only. And let's start off with, I'm sure that I'm going to tell you guys something that's not going to make you happy. Yes, exactly. I literally woke up this morning. I swear to God, y'all, I woke up. You know how when you wake up from a dream and you're talking? I woke up saying, Judge Howell, help us. I was like, oh my God. I'm like damaged. My mental landscape.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Meadows has to testify. You're making a declarative statement, I think. And I don't know that it's really that's the case. Meadows has to. They're telling me no, he doesn't have to testify. That's just what my guides are saying. I'm just telling you. Now, of course, this is also the energy right now, right? If somebody else does something else, then that could open up, and that's what the guides were saying, right? That here we have Bragg. They talked about the trident in my video, the 3 prongs, and they said the energy was going to jump from one to the other, so we didn't know which of these 3 prongs, Bragg, DOJ, meaning Smith, and or Willis. We didn't know. Right now, he doesn't have to testify, but I think that as I go deeper into Meadows' energy, that he's making a deal. They are making deals. I think the ones that are quiet, quote unquote, are making deals. And the MTGs that are out there on TV pleading their case with the public, that's where they feel like they can make traction. And the ones that are making deals with the feds are quieter. So I think Meadows might be making a deal or trying to make a deal. Now, I said this too, they're reminding me, the DOJ or whoever he's trying, even Alvin Bragg or Willis, And those three are very much together, right? Like they seem to be locked in arms moving forward in the sense that you're not going to see one cave. You're not going to see one blink. They're not going to blink. So in that way, everybody's has the same message. And the message is, we don't make deals with terrorists.
Right.
That's what they said to me. So Meadows is in a rock and a hard place. Yeah. He's between a rock and a hard place.
Now, I did hear today that all of the guys that have said that they have immunity, including Meadows and some of the others, they were told by Jack Smith, no, that they have to testify. Now, whether they do or not, I don't know.
Exactly. But, I mean, you could say, and the DOJ can say he has to testify. But if he has if he has an ace in his pocket and he goes to the DOJ and he says, I haven't played my card yet, I'm going to play my card now. I have information that, and when you say testify, Wiki, is your energy that he's testifying for the DOJ or against? Is he, whose team is he on? So my energy, when you asked that question, what I read in your energy was he has to testify, meaning he's on the defensive. But that's where I think he may come out on the other team, testifying for the other team.
Oh.
Or I could have this all wrong. Who knows? I'm just telling you what
Yeah. Well, okay. So can I bring up the idea of all of those properties that he has bought around the Capitol and what he's planning to do with them? If everybody hasn't heard this, the GOP through Mark Meadows Foundation has bought up apartments and buildings that are within a walking distance to the Capitol. And they bought them for the GOP because they want to have this something there. I don't know what. Maybe where if they have people come and stay, if they're in an insurrection or whatever. I don't know. But do your guides have anything to say about that?
Yeah, I had a friend email me about that. So it's not just Meadows. There's multiple. It probably all goes back to Meadows under the cloak of, cover. But there's at least 3 different corporations, separate corporations that have gone together to buy these. But when you go all the way through all the nooks and crannies, it comes down to the same people. What I understand from my spirit guides is this is looking to the future. They know that they're probably going to lose this war, not the battle, the war. And when I say they, I mean the Federalist Society, those people who would be wanting to change our democracy to more of an oligarchy or something. They know they're losing the war. So what those properties are for is to entrench so that even though, let's say Trump goes to prison, let's say Meadows goes to prison. Well, you still have these properties that the next group of people will come up and take. So it's about keeping the president right there. You have that lobbyist row, right?
Right.
That's why lobbyists always want to be in Washington, because you want to see that senator at the dry cleaners. You want to see that senator at the restaurant. You want to have this omnipresent or this all the time energy of, I'm always watching you. I always know what you're doing. It's a big difference between having to fly to Washington. If you're living there, you're in the mix, and
you're
it's
in the
more
mix.
likely you can just keep applying that pressure. So this is for the future.
Yeah. And it's in a way, Miss Mims, I think you're right. It's sort of a GOP safe house in a way. It's like that's the same way with the Federalist Society. I remember watching a TV documentary on that, and that's a pretty creepy thing to watch as well, and what they do there. So, wow. Well, let's see. Welcome. First of all, welcome to everybody. Thank you all for being here. And because we have 444 people here right now, I can't individually say hello to all of you, but we surely are happy that you're both with us on simulcasting between our these 2 channels. So thank you all for being here today. So I'm going to, that we talked about, brag. All right, what's this one? Oh, I have somebody with a rental property question. Starlight Glazer. Will my rental property? Well, I don't know.
I don't know. What you want to know?
We don't have the rest of it. Okay. All right. All right. Let me get something else.
I feel like the answer is yes, whatever the question is.
Okay. Scorpio Mama's been everywhere asking this question. So I'm going to put it out there and see what your answer is.
I don't see it soon, Scorpio Mama. I don't see it soon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Timing is really hard, you guys. It's incredibly hard to do timing, but the answer is not soon. So that's about the best I can do.
Okay. That's fine. That's fine. Here's something that is very interesting. Do you believe Puerto Rico will become a state in the United States?
The interesting thing about that question is I have a good friend that's from Puerto Rico, and I've spent a little bit of time there. And she says, do not ever talk about statehood. Do not talk about it. You're not qualified to talk about it. You will be run over. You don't even know what's right and wrong. And she says it's a hot button issue. So I'm going to take that to mean that I do think the Democrats will work to make Puerto Rico a state. I do think that energy exists, but I'm not sure at this point if Puerto Rico wants to be a state. It's divided. The energy still feels a little bit more divided. Now, if the Democrats could, first of all, if we had like Biden 2 terms and we got through this stuff and we kind of sorted ourselves out, and then the Democrats sat down with Puerto Rico residents, citizens, and everybody, and political leaders and everybody, I think we could do it. But they need more. They don't trust us, and I don't blame them. They don't trust us to help them. We haven't done anything for them. We've simply taken from them, so they don't
thrown toilet paper, or what was it, paper towels at them.
I think they would have to see that we're really going to walk our talk, and then they would consider it.
Yeah.
I think by that point, what the guides are telling me is Puerto Rico has some things we want. Puerto Rico might say, we're going to withhold to the degree that we can and bargain more. I think they should.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I will say this. Thank God Stacey Plaskett is in Jim Jordan's committee, because she's the Puerto Rican congresswoman, although I don't think does her vote even count? I don't think so. Know. I think no. I mean, even but she really, one person. Oh, I know. She's just she's a tiger. She's just perfect for him. Honestly.
I love Puerto Ricans. I've never had more fun. I've never eaten better food. I've never had more hospitality. I've never partied hardier, but I sure as hell have never been hotter.
Oh, well, that's very, very interesting. Thank you so much. There was somebody here that, all right, let's see. Oh, here's one. How about this? How about Washington, D.C. becoming a state? Any thoughts on that?
Hi, Jamie. It doesn't, I personally, maybe I'm wrong, guys. I personally have never seen D.C. becoming a state. I've seen Virginia swallowing D.C. or Maryland or somebody incorporating DC. But, to get there, we have to redo the amendments. It's in the Constitution. They had this idea that DC needed to be neutral, that it was supposed to be neutral. But unfortunately, what that means is that it's almost lawless in a sense, right? It's not governed by the rest of the United States. So it didn't work. That part of their idea didn't work. So we really need to get back into the Constitution and the amendments and start fixing it.
Right. That's for sure. That's for sure. Thanks, Jamie. Thank you for the question. Let's see.
Said DC is technically in Maryland, but it's not technically a state. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Wow. How about
maybe Maryland have it? I don't know. I know that's not a popular. I'm going to be honest. I don't think that's a popular position among DCers. But I don't see it becoming a state. I don't know why. We'll see. A lot can change, guys. A lot can change.
That's very true. With the astrological aspects, which you and I don't really know everything about, but what we're hearing is that, we're just at the beginning of this great changes,
Yeah.
I put this up because Andrea Hamilton is sitting in Ireland and is at a loss as to what has happened to us here. She's traveled in and out of San Francisco for work, and people were always so nice, but they changed with the orange anus. And I won't even go anywhere, Andrea. I hope this will change back. Do you see this at some point, Susan? Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah. Look, what two things happened that guides are saying. First of all, before the pandemic, we had road rage. We have kids. We have dads in little league baseball or football games beating each other up. We've lost our grace. We've lost our compassion. We used to teach compassion. We used to say, what happened, the guides are telling me, remember in the 80s when everybody got a trophy? Remember?
Yes.
And so that's now woke. That's woke. And that's wrong. And so now the pendulum is swung. And now we're all a bunch of jerks. And I do see that changing. I absolutely do see that changing. I'll say why. Because these star kids, these star seats, these indigo kids, whatever you want to call them, crystal kids, they're growing up and they don't like this BS. They don't like all the stuff that's happening and they don't agree with it. So they're going to be the ones that are going to be our teachers and our police officers and our, hopefully our Congress people, and they're going to change it.
Yeah. Yep. I see that happening. Like you say, the timeline, we don't know about the timeline. It's very, iffy, but wow. All right. So folks, I see that, I know hopefully you see that I can only just pick random questions here today because, we have so many folks here today, but we're all happy you're here. So Fredo wonders, will the situation in Syria escalate? Have you heard about that today?
Yeah, I heard about it. So so there's some real escalation in the sense that an Iranian, correct me if I'm wrong, but an Iranian drone hit a base and one American contractor was killed and other service members might have been injured. And then the United States sent out planes in retribution. I'm going to tell you, it's a mess, to be honest with you, because where we're getting into trouble is this isn't, it is from Iran. The energy feels Iranian, but it also feels Russian. And there's all these proxy wars. There's all these proxy wars, right? We're fighting Russia through Ukraine or everybody is fighting Russia through Ukraine, frankly. And now the Iranian people, there's an uprising. And don't underestimate, you guys, that Trump really believes he's going to be indicted. And these are great distractions, right? This basically is handing over stuff for the Republicans to get it riled up about because Republicans don't want us in Ukraine. And now what I hear people saying is, why are we still in Syria? What are we doing in Syria? So this is talking points this is meat for the fodder. This is fodder for the Republicans. And in as much as Putin can help that through his subsidiaries, they're using the word subsidiaries, he will do that. But I do think that we have Cool Hand Luke at the helm of the United States. We have Biden, and he's not a fool. He's been through this for decades and decades. He knows what it's like. He's been vice president for 2 terms. He's not going to do anything rash. He's not going to do anything that we regret. But at the same time, he's not going to back down. And I think that just like the cartels apologizing to Biden, okay, they're going to get an apology. These people are going to say, hey, whoops, we're sorry, my bad, right? But you're going to see a lot of these sort of individual sort of pop-offs, instead of a World War III, you're going to see a lot of pop-offs kind of thing.
Well, there's another one that happened, I think it was last night, and that is there was a Russian nuclear sub in Norwegian waters. and they don't need to be there. They don't need to be there. It's none of their, and that's just another way of getting this pop-off stuff. Yeah.
Russia would love for somebody to come in with this war with them, right? They need a Turkey or some other country. They would love China. China's not going to do it, but they're trying to, have us retaliate. That's why the guide's called Biden Cool Hand Luke, right? And I honestly think all the countries look to Biden. I feel like these leaders are going to be calling Biden, going, "Let's have a united front. We've got a sub in our backyard. What would you suggest we do?" And I think that if Norwegians act, and they act with Americans and Brits and maybe even Canadians, these people will think twice about this. Nobody wants a World War III. They just want to be the irritating, picky kid that, they want to, like what they did. They spilled gasoline on our drone and made it crash. That Russian fighter, they're just trying to push our buttons.
They definitely are. Today, Uncle Joe is who I call him. Uncle Joe was speaking in front of the Canadian Parliament. It was wonderful to watch. But somebody made a comment, one of the newscasters made a comment that there is some concern that Israel may have had done something to the Canadian election in 2021. They may have interfered in their election. And just wonder what you thought about if that seems right or not.
They're showing me someone wearing white gloves.
Okay.
So you could say we didn't do anything, but you could also say we didn't do anything. Our hands are clean is what that means to me. But I don't think they're 100% clean. I don't think Israel, again, this is what I'm saying. You're not going to be able to pin this on any one country because they're all acting together. Yeah, for entertainment purposes only. You're not, because they're all acting together, and it makes it, think about having, people, things are coming at you from all directions. It's hard to really focus on one person.
I'm going to throw in a really crazy question here. I was on with Loretta from Mothers to Row the other day, and she had a paper that was in the an article from the Military Times that was also sent out by the Pentagon that says we have a mothership hovering above Earth with a lot of small exploring UFOs that are going on their way out. It's not like right directly above us, but it's close enough to where we are. I wonder what your guides might say about that.
Are you really telling me the Pentagon admitted this?
Put it in the Military Times. Yeah. Now I did hear from Stephen Greer, who is the big UFO guy, that there'll be a lot of false flags by the government to scare the people so they can do what they do for entertainment purposes only. So they can do what they do under the cover of aliens did it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, right. That's why I don't want disclosure. That's why I don't want them, because I'm going to tell you, of course there is. I mean, but I would also say that I'm wrestling with this because I have a lot of experience in this field. That if you could be so crude as to say that there's good and bad ones, I mean, we are in a dualistic world where we have
everything is good and bad.
I think that we are a magnet for duality. I would say that the ones that really are the good ones don't want to manipulate us. They don't want to get involved. They don't. It's universal law that we have free will here. That is our universal law. So the ones that you see landing or interacting with us, more often than not 100%. I'm not saying the good ones can't interact, but I'm saying more often than not, that's entities that want to manipulate us.
Right. I agree with that. Some of the grays and the reptilians and a few others that are kind of creepy. So Okay, we'll leave it at that. But I thought that if anybody wants to watch Endgame, it's called Endgame, Stephen Greer's latest, and he's in Washington in a car driving around while they're interviewing him. I thought that was so interesting. Washington D.C. Wow. And he's the really an authority on the topic and how manipulative it can be. This is a great question, Richie. Is where we are as a country what the forefathers envisioned 200 years ago? I think we can pretty much say no, but I don't believe that the Republicans agree. They think it is, I think, that it needs to be more fascist.
You know, the guides are reminding me that the original Constitution was a human, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
women couldn't vote, they couldn't have property. If you weren't white, you were not a real man, you weren't counted. I mean, when our country was founded, people, it wasn't founded on the principles that we're trying to get to now.
Right.
True. Right. So when we say that, you have to understand that. And after the Civil War, we capitulated. I was like maybe 5 miles south of the Mason-Dixon line. But anyway, the North capitulated to the South, and that's how we ended up with all of this we have now and out in the civil rights. I mean, that's how we had Jim Crow, right? Mm-hmm. We keep capitulating. The lesson here is to stand up for once and for all. The lesson here is the guides want to say, and they say this all the time, what do you believe, humans? What do you want, humans? Your choices are telling the world and yourselves what you want. If you want AR-15s all over the place, then that's what you've got. Now, I know that's frustrating for people like me that live in a red state because I vote blue. I do everything I can. The system is rigged against us. Perhaps we can understand then how the system was rigged and is rigged against Native Americans and against African Americans and against everybody who's not white. Mm-hmm. So, and plus they always say that we have computers and cell phones and planes. I mean, though nothing is the same, right? So we really need to go back to the Constitution, and we really need to make it a current document. It's supposed to be a living document, and we need to bring it back up to this day and age.
That's right. I don't know why there are amendments in it already, and yet you get people, especially Republican talking points, where they, we need the Constitution, but they just it's just lip service because it's not at all what they're doing.
One time they say this, the next time they say that. Right. They don't care anymore if they're lying or not. They don't care if they get caught lying. It doesn't matter.
Yep, I get it. All right. Do you think that the juries will be under protection for all the 45 cases?
They should.
Or be sequestered, probably, at least, right?
They should. Yeah. It's, look, sending white powder to Alvin Bragg, whoever did that and then the bomb threats. And then look how they treat, the guides are showing me those 2 African-American ladies in Georgia that were working in the voting and how harassed they were. That's why, never mind. We're going to get control of this, but to do it, you have to understand that we're going to have to become a little bit of a law and order nation, that we're going to have to tighten up our laws to a degree that it could infringe on freedoms. But we really have to do this because they're using our freedom to beat us up with. They're using our own Constitution against us.
Yeah, definitely. I can only tell you that if you get a chance, everybody, and you're on YouTube and you look at some of the short clips of Jamie Raskin's response to lots and lots of things. Oh my God, he's my hero. I hope someday he gets way up because he's fabulous and smart. So smart, honestly. I don't know if I can find DeSanctimonious. What can you tell me about him?
Oh my God, y'all. Okay, I want to say something. I didn't watch Cash Peter's latest video. I always watch his videos. I mean, I'm super busy, but I try to anyway. And apparently he said, look, if you guys are gleeful over these people getting arrested, you're kind of dinging your karmic, beautiful exterior. And I got to tell you, last night I was making dinner for myself and I said, I'm just going to take the time out. I'm going to take the D. I mean, you know what I mean? Like when I cross over, I'm just going to be in timeout because so how I would say it is that we can be gleeful for democracy. We can be gleeful for all the lives that are going to be saved by taking people like this out of the equation of our democracy. So that's where I'm going to try to be gleeful. But I preface that by saying there's this videos going around now about DeSantis's laugh. It should nullify him for any public office. Seriously, it should. It's like just Google DeSantis laugh. They put a whole video montage. I've said this before. The guides have said this for at least a year, if not more. He's going to go down for having to do with money and washing machines, allegedly. And he is there. The energy that we're going into astrologically is nobody can escape justice. If you broke the law, you're going to pay the price. It's a very serious energy. You know, Biden is like a golden retriever. You know, he's happy, he's gracious, he's funny, you know, and he might bite you if you really make him mad. But we're going to have, I do believe that Kamala Harris is going to be president, and I do believe she's going to be the law and order president, and she's not going to be a golden retriever. And she's going to create a government and an energy that suggests that if you break the law, you pay the price. We don't care if you're far left. We don't care if you're far right. We're going to just draw a straight line. And if you happen to be on the wrong side of that line, you go to jail.
Okay. Wow. Thank you. I saw him walk into the courtroom and I saw him walk out of the courtroom. Twice. And I love Tippy Canoe. That's wonderful. What a great avatar you have, Tippy Canoe.
That is great. He's in very serious trouble. And frankly, so is Trump. So Corcoran was one of Trump's attorneys. And the attorney-client confidentiality has been pierced between Trump and Corcoran. So whatever Trump told Corcoran at any time is now, you know, entered into the actual witness, into the information that the court can look at. Yes, they're both in big trouble. This really could be what brings Trump down, because I don't know that you're going to say Corcoran brought Trump down, but I think you're going to say Corcoran was the step that took him to the step that brought Trump down.
Yeah.
And I feel that step might be truly Russia.
I also think that Tacopina is going to be taken down because in 2018, he said Stormy Daniels had a great, or whatever it was. Yeah. So you think so too?
So his attorneys can get taken down separately.
Right.
But for them to have the attorney-client confidentiality removed, if that keeps happening to Trump, I mean, nothing could save him. Nothing is going to save him. He's gone.
It's almost as though he's lost all his attorneys. How many? You know, it's like he's running out. It's running out of people. He just. Oh my God! Because now it's almost incestuous, if you know what I mean. It's like you know, yeah. Good luck.
That's why he's running more and more into trouble.
Yep. Everybody's storming the streets of France, putting garbage up and everything because Macron wants to lower the retirement age to 62. I'm sorry, roll it up. Yeah, roll it up. And here we are saying the people the Republicans were saying they wanted us to retire at 70 here. Remember that?
I know. Yeah. Oh, they're still saying it. Matt Gaetz or somebody said we should follow Macron. I got to be honest, when I go into this energy, and I could be wrong. When I go into the energy, I don't see them rolling it back. I do not see them rolling it back to 62. I do not think they have the money. I just think it's like I see someone taking their pockets and turning them inside out, and there's nothing but lint. It's like, we cannot pay the retirees. We would love to do this. It's just not possible. Now, what I think that will happen is that all the energy will go into making sure it never goes up again. You know?
Okay.
That's what I'm getting. I mean, he could crumble. If he crumbles and rolls it back, it's going to go back up again. So there's a potential that he could crumble under the pressure, but they're just going to pass it again. They don't have the money.
Yeah. Yep. Wow.
I know everybody's mad about it, Rockstar. I know they are. I know. I see the pictures. I get it. It's an anathema to the way of life. You know what I mean? And it's a shot across the bow, you know. We'll see what happens, but they're going to have to do something. They don't have the money. It's not like they're trying to penalize people.
Right.
I mean, I'm not saying they're nice people. I'm not a Macron fan.
Oh, you're not? I was surprised to see that Macron's wife is like 25 years older than he is.
I know,
he used to
right?
be one of his teachers. Yeah.
Right? They do it differently. I mean, Macron was better than Le Pen. I didn't want Le Pen, but
no, that guy.
Macron is still not a liberal, right? He's still a conservative. So, you know.
I know. So Mims has put this up a few times. Who will put in the first repairs amendment to our Constitution, and which issue will it address? So is it the Electoral College, I wonder, or I don't know. She's just wondering if you know in general, I guess.
Well, there's going to be a bipartisan committee. There's going to be a bipartisan, you know, so if you watch my videos, you know that what the guides are saying is this Republican Party is, you know, basically going down the tubes, and that some of these people that were in insurrection or supporting the insurrectionists are going to be removed from office, these Congress people. Then we're going to have elections, and then we're going to have a little bit more Democrats, and then we're going to have bipartisanship because the Republicans left are going to be freaking out. So that's how we get here. So how we get from where we are to there is that's how. Now, once we have this bipartisanship, I feel that we'll have a bipartisan committee to start looking at the things the guides keep talking about are guns, abortion, and voting rights. Those are the three things that they want to really tackle. Now, and I don't understand this is the first time they said this, but they're going to address states' rights. They're actually going to address the power of the states, which I think is going to be tricky because our country is really set on that's honestly why Jan 6 didn't work, is because we have all these different power centers. You can't just take over Congress and take over everything, or the Supreme Court and take over everything. You really have to kind of take over so many different power centers, right?
Right.
So anyway, that's kind of what I see.
Okay.
The ERA, yes, the ERA too. I would say the ERA, women's rights. I think that might be the umbrella in which the abortion is also included.
Well, astrologically, we're supposed to be taking down the patriarchy, but it's a 20-year window.
Yeah, so they're going to fight. Yeah. So I want y'all to see that. I want you guys to understand that these people have had power. And, you know, it occurred to me, I got this, I hassle them for answers. And then when I'm driving and daydreaming, they give them to me. So they said, you know, this, what is that? Is it CRT, critical race theory? The reason that they don't want critical race theory, or they want the opposite, is because they want to indoctrinate these kids to think that white people didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
Because they know that white people are fixing to be in the minority, and they know that every other color, culture, and, you know, women are going to be in the majority, and they don't want to be treated the way they've treated those people. So they need to brainwash these kids that are now in school, that when they get to a certain age that can help protect white people. They're afraid they're going to get a dose of their own medicine. Sure.
Because what is it? I saw a hat today. Make America intelligent again. That's
compassionate again. I would love one to just
compassionate. Yes, absolutely. You know? So there was a high school principal who was fired in Florida yesterday because one of the teachers showed a picture of was it Venus de Milo?
Of
David. That's right. It was of David because
in all his glory.
In all his glory. But there's nothing pornographic about it. It was just what it was. It's, and that's what's going on in a lot of places. Okay, Rose Blue, I see that you want Susan to answer this, so I will put it up. She wonders about the Texas grid during May or June.
Rose Blue, I'm in Texas. I'm understanding that it's going to fail. And I understand the guides are telling me that some of this is sabotage. Again, we have a whole almost a year of indictments and Congress people being indicted. I mean, we have a year of our world turning upside down. I want you to really understand that. So these people are going to act out. They're going to pop off and they're going to attack our grid, all of our grids. And it's very easy to do so. So Texas grid is going to go down for that, but also it's just outdated, outmoded. And it cannot. And I guess what they're telling me is we're going to have a particularly challenging weather season down here, meaning heat and wind. They're talking about a lot of wind. So, I mean, it's going to fail. It's going to fail over and over again. And you guys, I mean, until we have enough, until we've had enough and we get in the streets and we start saying we've had enough, millions of us get in the streets and get in the streets and get in the streets. It's not going to change.
No, it isn't.
Not. If we're asleep and we're just allowing it, then it's not going to change. Something has to wake. We have to wake up.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. Wow. So that means that you better be careful there if the grids are going to be in, because then it's going to affect your air conditioning, which is going to make things.
She said her power went out 4 times last year, and she's on well water, so no water. You guys, water is the new gold.
So I agree.
Figure it out. Get some water, some iodine pills to clean water, or get some kind of water. So you can use your well, or get bottles of water. We other countries live like this. We've never had to, but we're going to have to. We're going to have bottles and bottles of water, or some kind of alternative power and water source.
Agree. And get it now before it gets. Yeah, because I remember we had a hurricane in Texas in 92 or something, and they were selling little bottles of water for like $20 each. It was, because you get people that are greedy and they will take advantage of other people.
That's right.
Do that. Okay, so this is good because I had a couple of questions about it as well. My husband thought it was funny that we're trying to ban TickTock. What is it with TickTock? He says, and then we have the indictments against Trump. TickTock. Everything is timing, but somebody said today, and I agree with this, that if we ban TikTok, which we need to do something, I realize, we're going to lose votes. The Republicans will lose it and the Democrats will lose it from people 35 and under.
You guys, this is China playing us.
I know.
This is China playing us. TikTok is a state-sponsored, and I don't get mad at me. You know who to call. It's a state-sponsored, for entertainment purposes only, spy machine. And you might say, "Oh, I'm just nobody on TikTok." Oh, are you nobody that works at the DMV in New York City? Are you nobody that that works at a college or a university or at a police station? I mean, they have abilities to do things that we don't even know, that you and I don't know about. So this is a messaging problem, once again, from the Democrats. If there's a problem with TikTok, then you need to come right out and tell us what the F it is, and prove it to us beyond a doubt. But again, we're trying to have our cake and eat it too. We're trying to stand strong against China, but not make them mad. We're trying to stand strong against Russia, but not make them mad. We're trying to we can't, the energy suggests you can't have your cake and eat it too anymore. You're going to have to take a stand. So the current solution is that another software company like Oracle will moderate the part of TickTock on the back end that could be used for spying. So that company could then be monitored by the United States or look, it's not just the United States. Europe is usually the first people to throw stuff like this out. You know,
Right.
I mean, half the stuff we eat in America, you cannot eat in Europe.
You're
It is not allowed. So you guys in America are mad. Well, let me tell you, Europe's going to do the same thing. Canada, everybody's going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So given that solid response, China will allow this app to be monitored. And we don't have these aren't easy things. If we're going to allow a country that's not our friend to make all of our citizens fall in love with something they're offering, then that is a Trojan horse, you guys. Y'all know what Trojan horse means? That is a Trojan horse.
Yep.
You have the Republicans saying that Russia is fine. We should support Russia. It's already working. Can you guys not see how this is working? So I would love TikTok. I'm not on it, but I have a feeling that I would be addicted to it too. But we have to be smarter. And you guys just don't know the abilities that they can do through that app.
Yep.
And it's going to be too late.
Yeah.
It's going to be too late. Yep. And then everybody going to be crying. I'd rather not be crying. I'd rather stand firm and say, China, fix this, or we're all going to start taking some steps.
Right. And parents need to tell their children that. They need to make sure that they understand, because younger children, and I don't mean little kids, but teenagers or people in their 20s, they have to realize that they're already putting way too much out there anyway. But now we've got this group of people that are monitoring everything about them and could really manipulate their lives in really bad ways if they weren't careful. Yeah. I love this, Shelley, that you brought this up, Shelley. Ever since good old Sarah Huckabee.
Can you believe it?
She is crazy. Didn't she just roll back that little kids can get work permits and stuff in factories?
It's crazy. Yeah, it's really crazy. I think that's why the federal government's going to have to change the way the power around, like a seatbelt law wasn't just, you know what I mean? Like the federal government can step in and say, all the states are going to have to do this. Anyway, solar panels.
That's crazy.
It is crazy.
Solar panels. What could they hurt? Well, of course, isn't that what the wind things that create cancer? Remember? I mean, that's how they think. Yeah.
It's woke. It's liberal. And okay, you know what? It's going to hurt the oil and gas industry.
Yeah.
That's what the guys just said. They want you to use they want you to use electricity. They want you to use, and I don't get it. I don't get how it could hurt them, but the guides say it's going to hurt them.
Yep. Okay.
I mean, it's like all fronts, like they're showing me all fronts. Like the oil and gas industry wants to stop this on all fronts. The consumer front, the federal front, it's not, they just want it's like all kind of coming down on them. So they're fighting it all.
Yeah. What I see when little tiny changes are made within the states is that they create the room for bigger and bigger and bigger. And we're seeing that with the way that they changed the election law, or, you can't give someone a glass of water or some water, or you can't. And it seems to me like this, just all these little private wars going on that are out of fear of control. And what bothers me is that not everybody notices all of those little things, because then, they're sort of in their own cocoon. And if you don't watch the news, which most people are not wanting to do anyway, then you don't know any of it. And all of a sudden, we're just going to end up, like you say, if we don't start marching in the streets, if we don't start putting up barriers and saying to us, we're not going to put up with this anymore. You people are corrupt and you're changing our country too crazy, making it too crazy. So, wow. All right. So Valerie wonders, will all media be finally held to a higher state of integrity.
Yeah, we are going to do that. And I think I just want to say, somebody said, if I don't have TickTock installed, the app, am I okay? Yes, I think the bad stuff comes from the app. And somebody also said, look, Facebook is bad too. Facebook tracks everything you do. I mean, it's true. And here we have the question about media. Again, so you guys know some of you know, I was a professional photographer for 23 years. I have a client who who married a French woman, moved to France, and then he would come back with his family. And I would advertise my pictures like, oh, I took a picture of this family. Look what I did on social media. Oh my God. She came unglued 5 Ways to Sunday and said, this was 10 years ago. And she said, my children will not be on the internet. And now Europe has passed very strong privacy laws. Again, Europe is taking the lead here. So this is coming to us, but I will tell you, Fox News is imploding. It's going to be, like separated, and it's going to be not at all what it was. And I see Tucker taking his show and going to the internet, like InfoWars, kind of having that kind of internet show. He's going to make money, but we are going to address this. First of all, we're going to make it easier to sue for libel. You guys know Hunter Biden is suing all those people now. I mean, again, this sense of waking up and standing up for yourself. We have to wake up and stand up for ourselves. So I do see the media being held to a higher state of integrity. This is by next year. There's really a potential that after the election, or I don't know when, guys, but I see Kamala being president. And I'm telling you, if she's president, it means shite went down. I don't mean that Biden is hurt at all. What I mean is that he had to step down for some reason. But that's the timeline. If that timeline snaps into place, then that means you better believe the media is going to be watching their P's and Q's, because the DOJ, that the FCC is going to have new teeth, and they're going to be able to yank licenses. So you're just going to see everything being more law and order. Wonderful.
But in a good way, law and order.
Well, it is good and it is bad, because I'm telling you, if I'm protesting because I'm left and you're protesting because you're right, there's a very possibility that we all get arrested.
True.
You understand what I'm saying? True. They said she will be fair, but she may not be liked by the left. That's what they tell me. So, but it's needed. What happens is Big Mama needs to come into the room where all the kids wreaking havoc and throwing things and beating each other up and calling each other names. Big Mama needs to come in, grab everybody by the scruff of the neck, sit them in the corner. And that's where we're going as a country.
Wow. But not in a fascist way, not in an autocratic way. No.
It's not. And I say that our freedoms are going to be impinged upon, but that's because you can't have the freedom to have a baseball bat like you're going to hit a DA. Okay, that's where is our freedom line? We need to redefine that, right? We used to have that saying, you can't yell fire in a theater. Now people are yelling it so many times that nobody would ever even get up.
No, they wouldn't. You're absolutely right. So there has to be a line in the sand. And
we need a line in the sand.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the argument about Hunter Biden. And then I think it was Jamie, but maybe it was somebody else. They said, well, what about Jared Kushner? He got all that money from the Saudis.
I know.
And nobody said anything. Nobody said anything about it. And so, do you think that he'll ever be brought in front of a committee in answer to that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he might be brought in front of a committee, but not a judge. I'm not sure he's going to be brought in front of a judge. I wish I could tell you that, but right now, and things can change, but right now, I kind of see him being a flight risk. I see him Van Moosking over to another country.
I wouldn't be like Dubai.
Like Dubai.
Wow.
But he's not useful to them. I just looked into that interview, and he's not useful to them in Dubai. He's useful here in the United States if Trump has power. Once Trump doesn't have power, these people are not useful. And I'm telling you, it would be Russia's pleasure and Saudi Arabia's pleasure and China's pleasure to say, oh, we found this information out. We just found it. We must have misplaced it. Here it is. And it's going to tell you that these people sold very top secret documents. It's going to be egg on the face of America. That's what they want. That's what they want.
Definitely. And it's what we deserve, not we, but the we that voted for.
The royal we. Well, until we all wake up as a community and say, you know what, we don't want this hate. We don't want this violence. We don't want this. We don't want this anymore. And you know who's going to lead it is women. Women are going to start waking up because we're the ones that are under attack. Women and gay, trans, anybody of a different religion and anybody of a different color.
So did you hear that Walt Disney World is hosting the annual gay convention? Is that what it's called? I don't know what it's called.
I don't know. I think
it's wonderful.
I think they literally made up a new convention to host it. But yeah, Disney's given DeSantis the middle finger.
Yep.
I love that. And that gives me hope, because if Disney would have crumbled under the pressure of DeSantis, then we would be looking at a different timeline. So
definitely.
Means to me that DeSantis is on the way out. Disney, look, Disney has allies everywhere, not just in Florida. Come on, I mean they're really the higher mighty there, right? So they've gotten their backing. They know that they can pull this off. So that means DeSantis is out, in my opinion.
Yep. Well, this is no good for teachers in Texas. It bans diversity, equality, equity, and inclusion offices in public universities.
They're doing it everywhere. Why is Abbott doing it? They're doing it everywhere.
Yeah,
they're doing it in every red state. Again, listen, guys, go to the energy. They're afraid. They see. This is the answer to almost everything. These Republicans are white men and a few white women, and they see this. They see the demographics. White people aren't having kids. Every other culture and is growing and growing, and white people are going to be the minority. So what do they want to do? They want to stop. They want to stop giving the springboard to those other cultures, because they don't want. And truly, the guides are telling me they don't want to walk into their doctor's office and see an Iranian or somebody that doesn't look like them. They don't want that, right? But yet they feel like we're giving those people a foot up. And the truth of the matter is, I'm about to say something that's really not PC, but the truth of the matter is that our kids, white kids, maybe just aren't as smart, you know, and you can, and it's not that they're not intrinsically smart. It's that our values are not such as maybe Asian Americans that have this value of study and this value of education. These people that come from other countries are the cream of the crop. You know, they're the most brilliant to get to the United States, and they're out competing white folks. So now they want to destabilize that. They want to actually lift up white people. Yeah, it's all about that. I mean, it's clear day to me. That's
the other thing is that, you know, I teach freshmen from China, Taiwan, Korea, all kinds of places. I teach them English composition, and they're heads and shoulders above anybody else from the United States. Let's just put it that way. But I don't know if you all are aware that there is a thing called the Great American Brain Drain, where these people come over from other countries and they go to the Harvards and the Yales and the Stanfords, and they learn every single thing that they can from us, and then they take it back to their country. So you can, and if you don't have people here doing what they should be doing, then you're going to have other places that are just heads and shoulders above us. So, you know, it's something to think about. It really is. The other thing I wanted to say was that I recently saw a woman said she went into her doctor's office and they had Fox News playing. And she went up to the front and said, "Why is that playing? Can you please change the station?" And the lady behind the desk said, "No, that's what the doctor wants playing." And she said, "Thank you very much. Cancel my appointment. I won't be coming back." And if people do that now, in the gas station, or not the gas stations, but where you fix your car, where you go to the doctor or the dentist, whatever. If you refuse to go in and be a client, if they don't change the channel, then that's one thing everybody can do. You don't have to walk out into the and do a huge walking type of rally. You can just say, nope, not going to do it anymore.
You can do it in your own way. You can do it in your own way. And for everybody that says no, there's going to be people that are like, yeah, we'll change it, right?
Yes.
So
that's
won't care, right?
Yeah. Well, we did. Quiet. Now you're not feeling good. Stop. Let's just wind down with a couple of personal questions, and then I want to thank you so much. We've already been here over an hour, and we could be here all day. Everybody's thrilled that you're live, so I think that's great. So let's see. This one is an interesting one. Adriana says her toddler, she believes, is seeing a spirit. Sometimes my son is afraid, and other times he says he wants to play with them. Wonders who her toddler is seeing.
I love that picture. That is so cool.
I know. I do too. Yeah.
Sometimes there's a grandfather type energy that's visiting him. He sees everything. He sees angels, he sees fairies, he sees everything. He particularly likes those fairy. There's like a Tinkerbell type kind of energy, fairy energy. I think it's actually his grandfather that scares him. Because you know how kids get scared around people that look old? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, I guess so. Like Santa? They don't like Santa either.
Santa. Or if you're just a toddler, you only know what you know. If you don't see older people, I don't know. It's just and this grandfather is not mean at all, but just not. He looks kind of not grandfather. He looks craggy. He looks, he just has this kind of look to him.
Wow. Remember, there was a movie, you may not have seen it, but it was about a boy that saw his grandfather all the time, and his father was a minister, which was really tough because you know what that entails. But he said that he had brown hair and such, but I think that the grandfather was presenting as a younger person. And because when the boy saw a picture of him, like in his Air Force uniform when he was much younger, he said, that's who I see. Nice. So maybe Adriana, you can say, Grandpa, if you're visiting, could you please show up at 35 years old?
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea.
Yes, right. That's right.
That's a great idea.
Thank you for your donations. That's so nice. Thank you very much, everybody. That's very kind. Let's see. Here's one that has to do with a shoulder replacement, or should I get a? Oh boy, should I get a replacement? I'm not sure what you want to replace, Cozumel Liz.
Well, the shoulder.
Is it shoulder?
No, wait.
Okay. Should I get a shoulder replacement? I guess that's what it is.
I think so. I think that's what.
Okay.
That's complicated. It's not a quick yes, and it's not a quick no. You will have surgery on your shoulder. You may get something that they're calling a partial replacement, or you may find that they go in and they're able to work on just one part of that joint. But I know that I feel like the doctor is telling you that you need a shoulder replacement, but I feel like once they really get in there, that they're going to find that they can do something more tactical, more strategic.
Oh. Now they're doing those kind of tiny micro, whatever you call it, where they don't have to invade so much, and they're able to get in there and do that kind of work. Yeah, that's wonderful. All right. One more we'll do here. Let's see. All right. I'm going to pick Kimmy. She recently had an interview for a new job. Wonders if she'll get it.
I hear yes. Right off the bat, I heard yes.
Okay.
Very quick.
Excellent. Vic, very nice. That was, oh boy, everybody, honestly, I thank you so much. We had over 900 people in here at one point, and that's a lot of people. And I know that a lot of that has to do with it simultaneously casting on your channel. And so I thank all of your subscribers, thank all of my subscribers and our joint subscribers, of course, for being here with us today. Susan and I try to come on about every 4 to 6 weeks and just have some fun together. So that's what we did today. And we thank you for joining us, and to all people who had given us donations today. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody. Much love to you guys. Take really good care.
Stay positive, everybody.
Stay positive.
That's right. Bye-bye.